No gree for anybody.
This year we no dey gree for anybody. No gree for anybody. We won't evaluate you on the outside to determine whether God accepts you or not. God accepts you no matter what you look like. No gree for anybody. We won't point you as a sinner simply because your works are not perfect. Nobody's works is perfect. God accepts us because of our faith in what Christ has done. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel say because of one thing or the other way they do, you deserve to get more from God than you. No gree for anybody, because God doesn't work that way. God accepts everybody equally based on the sacrifice of Jesus. No gree for anybody. We go decide say this year they will evaluate you based on what you are doing rather than what Christ has done. No gree for anybody. We won't call you sinner simply because your works are not perfect. Everybody's works is not perfect. No gree for anybody. We go tell you say you don't deserve heaven simply because you are not doing one thing or the other. If it is by that, nobody deserves heaven. No gree for anybody. We won't show off saying they do things better than you. That's why he merits things from God better than you. God doesn't work that way. No gree for anybody. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel say you don't deserve heaven simply because you don't have perfect works. Nobody have perfect works. If not by that way, nobody will make heaven. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel say because in they fast, because in they pray, because in they do this, because in they do that. Now why God they do things for them be that? That is not true. It is because of our faith in Jesus that God does things for us. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel less of say you deserve things from God simply because in they do. No gree for anybody this year. Say we don't agree this year, say we know they gree for anybody. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel like say because of the way you look on the outward, you don't deserve to be called of God or to be called beloved of God or to be loved of God. You deserve everything that God has simply because of your faith in Christ. So no gree for anybody. This year you are not the sinner, you are the righteous. It is not of works. So stop looking at yourself. This year you are not the sick, you are the healed. No gree for any sickness. We won't come your body through symptoms. This year you are a citizen of heaven. You are not the one going to hell. No gree for anybody. We won't point you as a sinner simply because your works is not perfect. This year you are the saved. You are not the one in danger simply because God has made it all available in Christ. No gree for anybody. No gree for anybody. We won't make you they purchase God's blessing either monetarily or through actions. No gree for anybody. God's blessings are free as long as you understand what He has done for you in Christ. Standing on what God has done for you in Christ, you can receive anything and everything from God. No gree for anybody. We won't make you feel say now because they do something, that's why God will answer His prayer before yours. No gree for anybody. God answers everybody's prayer equally as long as you believe and you are standing on what God has done for you in Christ. No gree for anybody. This year, no gree for anybody. No gree for anybody. We go make you feel like say understanding what God has done for you in Christ is lame and unnecessary. Now so did they cheat you. No gree for anybody. Now waiting you know did they use cheat you. No gree for anybody.
No gree for anybody.